Trust your emerald heart. Be who you came here to be. Unlock your true potential.
Right, hello guys. Victoria Krzyvinska here from B-School Space. And today I would like to talk to you about food. So some of you know that I was vegan for a few years, and then I swapped back to normal food, but conscious food, I would say. And I would like to talk to you a little bit about that, because people have been asking me how it is, how do you feel, what is the difference, why did you change in the first place, why did you decide to experiment, and why did you swap back to a normal diet, and what is the meaning. So this is what I'm talking about today. So welcome to the space, and thank you for being here with me. So the first time when I started experimenting with the food, it was, I guess, back in 2010 or 2009, something of that kind. And at that point, it was the first time I had a short-term practice not to eat meat for a while, but I never removed fish, eggs, milk, and all of the kind. And at that time, it was just a few months just to see how I would feel, or whether or not I would be able to survive on that and what's that all about. And after that, I kind of return to a normal diet, and then back in 2019, that was a conscious decision for me to experiment again, and in that case it lasted for a couple of years, and only last year about July or August I started adding things into my diet, and then I finally released the restrictions and allowed myself to have a conscious dieting and conscious way of eating, so that I can notice what is the change depending on the food that I consume. So the reason I went into first vegetarian and then vegan in 2019 was because I wanted more powerful connection to the spirit, to the God, to the source, to the creator, and I wanted to have that powerful energy so that I can understand what it truly means. And this is the case, this is true. When you stop eating animal products, you immediately go direct, and your connection is much stronger, much more powerful, and this is undeniable and amazing. And you have a lot of energy. Actually, you have a lot of energy for projects, for whatever you need, and you understand that this is something that we were told, okay, eat meat and you will be strong. No, this is not true. You will be strong even if you do not eat meat. And it was like a process. So first we stopped eating meat. First I stopped eating eggs, actually, and then I stopped eating meat, chicken, everything in between, and slowly milk, cheese, and all other things. So actually at the same time, it was also alcohol that I stopped drinking, and it was a couple of years of that. So during the COVID period, I didn't get into this process with the disease and stuff, because it was, I don't know, maybe it was connected with the diet, maybe it was not. It's also social, mental process and all other things. But at that time I was not eating meat for a few years, and the practice of mine was really powerful. So whenever I would go into meditation, the energy would be so strong. You sitting and receiving all the time. But to be honest, I was receiving a lot of energy, but I didn't, and it was not immediate. It was a process of I was in that process for a while. So I received a lot, but I didn't have enough strength to anchor it down. So I already had these videos and I talked about it before. When we receive we receive the vision, we receive the understanding where we're going, what are we going to do, what is the next project you're going to launch, all these kind of things. But you do not anchor that down because you kind of like don't have this limiting beliefs are strong in the mind, you have fears, the root chakra is unstable. So basically, it was about that. And when I started, and this year I started launching new programs in spirituality, and that was the moment I realized, okay, my body feels that I have a lot of my connection is very strong. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of visions. I'm a visionary, so I see lots of different things. I imagine and I create that, and I have this feeling, and it's all good. But to be able to anchor it down, to actually allow people to be able to use it, I need more strength. And that was the moment when back in July, August, I started adding little things here and there, and then completely swapped to kind of normal diet. And it was necessary and important because I realized if I don't want to do supplements like B12 or other things, like chemical, medical, so then I would just be adding food so that I receive that. But the important thing is that you have to understand what you want your diet to do. You have to be really consciously clear about how your body feels, and how this or that type of food or nutrition makes your digestion feel, or what you feel in your body, or do you want to sleep? Do you want to be stronger? Do you want to feel lighter? And depending on also the seasons you are in, winter, summer, spring, this kind of things, you need to also notice. And for me, it's very important, the quality of food, I don't want to be eating food which is imported or not typical for the region I'm in, or I don't want to, so it's more about chemicalized food. When you were a vegan before, you notice you have this sensitivity so that you understand, and that's something that we develop inside. We learn, okay, I don't want that. I don't want this doesn't feel good for me. This is a little bit off. And then you develop this feeling so that your body can actually tell you, okay, this is not good for me today, but now I want that. Okay, this is not something that works for me or for now, but this is something that I would enjoy later. And then you learn okay, how do I feel? What do I need more strength for my muscles, or do I have a lot of tension in the body? Do I have a lot of menstrual pain, or do I have dehydration? And dehydration is also something really important. People don't notice, especially in the cold climate, because water which you buy, for example, sometimes gets cold, and you cannot really drink a lot of water, cold water, and then you kind of get dry from inside. You don't notice. And if you are not consciously choosing to hydrate yourself, you just get dry from inside, and your body is always dehydrated. And being dehydrated is much worse than being hungry. So conscious eating is actually something that we all can develop by listening to our bodies and activating this sensitivity inside of us. And it is available for us, and it's something that all of us can do. It's just a matter of, being open to that. I created the light code about nutrition. I'm still exploring this topic. And I don't say that, okay, this is going to solve all your problems. But it's more about activating that sensitivity so that you can actually listen to your own body. And instead of, following your cravings, oh, I'm craving chocolate, oh, I'm craving cookies, oh, I'm craving bread. Instead of doing that, you actually understand what your body needs and how you can nurture it. And that's very important. The other important thing that I want to say is that most people who swap from normal diet into vegan or vegetarian, they face that. Sometimes when we stop eating one of the products, or we stop drinking alcohol, or we do whatever, change our life, start meditating or whatever, we start feeling this superiority. We start feeling better than someone else. And this is ego. You can have matrix-based ego, and people know about that very well, achievements, or I'm better than you. In spirituality, we also have ego. Vegan or alcohol or drugs and all this kind of things. This is people who stop doing that, they feel a lot, their ego goes so high, oh, I'm better than you, I don't eat animals, I don't eat corpse, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't do alcohol because I'm better than you. This kind of feeling, everyone faces that in a way. And then we start feeling guilty if we start eating meat, or we start feeling this kind of guilt which we experience when we return to our previous habits is awful. And that's why people stay there for quite a while, although they already feel that it's not good for their body. And this is another thing that why would you allow yourself to feel guilty or to stay in that, something that you have created for yourself, although you have changed? Your connection to the spirit has changed, your experience has changed you a lot, and you have learned a lot. So my idea is noticing this ego is important. Okay, so it's you don't drink alcohol not because you are better than others who do get wasted every weekend. Yes, you are better than others in a way. That's true. But at the same time, just drop that feeling off. It's not the reason why you do that, right? So you just know that okay, if I drink alcohol, or if I drink too much, or if I drink at all, I might have a headache. I might lose my connection. I might drop into the illusion. I might have not a clear vision of where I'm going, what I'm doing. But I allow myself to do that if I truly want. So this is kind of liberating in a way, because you have a choice. The other thing is that some people, normal people, are in this illusion that this addiction is controlling their life, right? So oh, I'm smoking, I cannot stop. And I'm always saying people who cannot stop smoking, they are actually cannot be doing well in business in a way, because they don't have strong willpower. Something external is controlling their mind, or is controlling their physical body, is controlling their, it's a habit which is controlling you. But why would you allow that, right? And we can reactivate that, when we connect to the divine source, right, straight away, we can reactivate that process inside of us, and we can claim our power and voice back, not allowing anything external to control us, just not allowing any opinion to control us, or not allowing any relative or any teacher or anything else external to control us, because we want to be in our own energy. We want to be in our own heart. We want to have our own opinion and to understand how things influence our lives. So, for example, if somebody, like, I don't do that, but if somebody goes out to drinks a lot and smokes cigarettes, next day he wakes up hungover and he blames that thing that he was doing that. But why would you do that in the first place, right? So, like, claiming that voice back and that power back and taking this responsibility for what you are doing in life and making conscious choices on your food, on your habits, on your sleep habits, on your water habits, on like everything that you surround your life with. And again, this is about creating our own reality, because we take the responsibility. We take the responsibility of how we take care of this temple, which was temporarily granted to us, and how we create life around us for this temple to feel good in. So yeah, if you ask me, like, about the diet and things, and many spiritual teachers, they say, oh, stop eating meat, stop drinking on the weekends, and then you will do better in your spirituality. Yes, that's true. That's true. You will have better connection, but to anchor it down, you might need some extra help or some extra strength. So take responsibility for what you're doing and return back to the heart. And I will talk to you soon, hopefully. I love you.